I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Fig Ficus. Hi.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Fig Ficus. I also go by Figgy. And I am a Bunny Bard VTuber. I'm actually still pre-debut. I'll be debuting in this coming March.
Mm. So you got everything planned up and ready to go, or are you still working on some things?
I've got everything planned out. But yeah, I am still currently working through. My model is being worked on right now as well.
Yeah.
But I've got a pretty good idea about, how it's going to go down, hopefully.
And how excited are you for this?
I'm really excited. I started this sort of this journey as Fig earlier this March. So actually it'll be just shy of a year since I started working on this. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff has been a lot of effort has been put into it, and a lot of wonderful artists that I've been working with. So hopefully it'll be a good time, a good event.
Yeah, after a year you get to do your prime debut. The one that you want to put in front of. So how has it been as a streamer so far?
It's been good. I actually this is a rebrand. So I was streaming before. I started streaming last July, and I kind of went into it not really knowing anything about streaming or VTubers.
Right.
And I kind of just wanted to start streaming because I just really wanted to hang out with my friends and play video games. And a couple of my friends were like, "Oh, I'm a PNG tuber, so you should try that," because I didn't really want to show my face necessarily.
Right.
And from that, it just kind of became, I don't know. I just got really into streaming. It was just I just discovered there's so much fun in it.
Yeah.
And I've really grown my community through it. And so yeah, so since then I've just I don't know, I've really grown a passion for, I guess, entertainment and stuff through streaming. And there's a lot of opportunities that I've discovered through it.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about this particular medium is how much you can blossom as a person with it. You can things that maybe you didn't even know you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have the opportunity to do it. And oh yeah, I really do want to do this sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, did you have any idea before you dipped your toe in that you wanted to do some entertainment work?
I had very minimal before, when I was, I mean, just I think through Twitter a long time ago. I think they have the live function now, but before they had I think it was through an app called Periscope, and I used to live stream through that, just to whatever my mutuals on Twitter, and I would just kind of just talk to them and stuff like that. And I was sort of a very rudimentary just chatting stream.
Right.
And I just really love doing that. Yeah.
And that kind of, when did you find out that there were other people doing this and doing it for, I mean, actually VTubing? I mean, doing it as a regular type of thing.
Yeah, I kind of got into VTubers specifically in 2020. I started watching Hollow Stars JP. So there's a couple guys that I liked. One of them being Arud this. And so I watched a lot of those guys, and I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. That they have an avatar, because I feel a lot of the barrier for streaming or content creation is sort of how you present yourself, right?
Right.
And I think that was something that was like, I feel like that was just something that was like really interesting to me.
Right.
That like you don't really necessarily have to, put your quote unquote best face out there.
Right.
And I really liked that. And I didn't, but I still didn't think of it as like being something that was like very attainable,
Hmm.
as like a, quote unquote like regular person. Because, for me, like, YouTubers are sort of like, a sort of like subsection of celebrity.
Hmm.
And so when I saw my friends say like, oh yeah, well I just got like a PNG and so I've just been streaming using that. I was like, oh, like that's something that I could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, so I think like just like it was a lot of my friends that introduced me to like doing it myself.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've really got an amazing voice for it. Um,
Thank you.
it actually reminds me a little bit of, and I hope you take this, the positive way that it's meant to be, Crony.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Thank you. I
very
really appreciate that.
very much actually, and the mannerisms and how you talk about it, and it's such a calming voice. It's amazing. Um,
Oh,
have,
thank you so much.
have you done any public speaking or anything like that before?
Not really. I used to, because I'm like my like personal like professional background is like I got my degree, my undergrad degree in English with a focus in creative writing.
Hmm.
So I've done a few like public readings of like my like fictional works.
Right.
So I've done that, but no like public speaking,
Mm.
like like
Yeah.
speech or anything like that.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, I did radio for a long time, and I would not equate that to public speaking. It's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times when I knew I had probably four-digit people listening because it was around a football game, something along
Mm.
those lines. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't see them. That's a
Yeah.
that's a bit different. And here with this, you get a
Hmm.
chance to talk to a lot of people without actually seeing them, and they don't see you either. Um,
Hmm.
but you do get to project yourself the way you want. And now with the new model coming
Yes.
out, you really get to do that. And I bet you're looking forward to
Yes.
that. Something fierce.
I am. Yeah, I think I've really especially enjoyed the process of like creating like this, this new model. Because like there's a whole new, like totally different rebrand. My first model that I had was actually sort of just like kind of loosely based off of like my Baldur's Gate 3 character.
Hmm.
Because I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted out of streaming because when I started off, I wasn't really expecting much out of it, just something fun to do.
Yeah.
And so working on Fig has been like such a like a really like unexpectedly healing process.
Hmm.
Because a lot of what I wanted to do is just like I wanted to put a lot of myself into this,
Yeah.
and a part of myself that I really wanted to use when creating this persona, this branding, is like a lot of like my childhood, like whimsy and
Hmm.
stuff.
Right.
I feel like so often, the sort of like childlike joys in life are kind of like forgotten
Hmm.
or not really utilized as much because we're all adults and we're like we're working and
Yeah.
there's so many things to think about. And so I think like when I worked on this, I kind of wanted to go back to that childlike whimsy and that joy and excitement that you kind of like remember feeling as a kid.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I've incorporated a lot of elements from my personal childhood into the design.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know if anybody can hear it, but I'm smiling over here just from your description because really it is a chance to kind of reconnect with the um the little bit of fantasy that you had
Mhm.
younger and what could have been if if everything was a little better all the way around.
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
and I'm interesting that you have that tie to the fantasy characters and the D&D type of thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Well, how long were you at, or are you still playing D&D?
I am. I am still playing D&D.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've only actually been playing D&D for I think a few years now. I got into it kind of like later on in life, but I had been before playing D&D, I would just like, play pretend
Hmm.
with like my sister or my friends at school.
Hmm.
So yeah, I love D&D. I play a lot of it with my friends now.
Yeah. Have you ever tried DMing, or are you satisfied with trying to frustrate the DM as much as possible?
As much as I love frustrating my DMs, I've done a little bit of DMing.
Hmm.
I had done a couple Halloween one shots before.
Yeah.
And I love it. It was very tough because um, really put everything into perspective as a DM. I made the mistake of letting my friends use like find familiar, so he just sent his owl to get
Uh,
the key across the pit of skeletons,
yeah.
which so
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
it was
that
a great experience.
that sounds like what we tried to do back in the in the early '80s and late '70s to our DM back when it was a much simpler game. We tried to turn.
Hmm.
One of the things we did was carry a dead body around with us and
Hmm.
throw it into rooms in front of us and set off all his traps. And he got so
Oh my
mad.
gosh.
He was so angry. Finally, he says, finally, he just rolls the dice. Says, the body falls apart. He can't use it anymore.
I mean, hey, that's something you got to think about too. You're
Yeah.
throwing the bodies around, it's gonna fall apart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the I would imagine being a dungeon master allows you to be creative, which is what you do, the creative
Hmm.
writing and such. Seems right up your alley. And
Oh yeah.
but
Hmm.
you also have to be so aware of who's going to be in there, because the last thing you want is some guy with a some 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 person coming in with a 2000 IQ and a lot of wit about them.
Hmm. Yeah. That's
And
definitely, yeah. My friend is definitely like that.
yes, yes. So one of the folks I played with and was a friend of mine for 50 years now. Um,
Hmm.
it was one of those folks who learned chess in 15 minutes. One of those types.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. He's also got a imp streak running through him, which is bad. Because it just and
Oh my
we
goodness.
just tortured the poor DM back in the day. But that
Oh
was back
man.
when it
I
was
feel
just
like
yeah, that was back when it was just one book. I mean, now there's
Mhm.
encyclopedia about it.
Yes.
And,
Uh-huh.
and so what you like the fantasy stuff before you started to get into D&D?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Mm,
mean, even before I started playing D&D, I mean, I always like read a lot of fantasy books.
mm,
And I just love like growing up, we'd always have like Lord of the Rings marathons and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
I've always been drawn to yeah, fantasy worlds and stuff like that.
So, so
I think
that
it was a little bit of it is escapism too.
well, of course.
'Cause I think it's just fun. It's just fun to like go into a new world for a little bit.
Yeah, that sometimes you don't have to analyze everything. Sometimes it's just fun.
Mhm.
So, I did tell the story of going to see a few years back going to see Transformers 2 with my stepdaughter. I said we didn't go to see
Mhm.
Shakespeare. We saw see robots get blown up, and
Exactly.
that's what we got. Robots blown up. It was good. We enjoyed ourselves. Ate popcorn. Um,
Hmm.
so your creative writing, uh, was that something you wanted to do early on and kind of wrote on your own before taking classes for it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I've been like writing my own stories probably as far back as I can remember.
Mm,
Even in like third grade, I remember my teacher had like every Tuesday was a day where we had to like she would give us a topic and we'd have to write a story about that.
mm,
And I had created this like little mini series where like I would write about the same characters every week. And so like just kind of like they would just have like adventures depending on whatever prompt she gave us.
Well, not only
Hmm.
does that suggest the creativity on your part, it's also smart because you've already got the
Yeah,
characters pre-made and don't have to do a lot of backstory on
exactly.
them.
Exactly.
That's eh,
Very efficient.
I caught your drive there. That's a good idea. Um,
Hmm.
so adding all this together with the creative writing, um, and the being on here and being creative, you sound like a person who just enjoys the creativity of life. Um, is it restricted to this and um, writing, or do you do artistry? Do you have other types of things to express yourself?
It's mostly writing,
Mhm.
but I also like I wouldn't say I'm like very like talented at it, but I also love music.
Mm.
I sing, I do some singing. I also like play, percussion. I was in percussion as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as at it now, but
Oh, I
I
bet it was.
still will play. I'll still play drums for. I
Oh,
played recently for like a family wedding.
oh,
So
oh!
um,
It's
yeah, I
drum
was like part of
solo.
like I was part of an ensemble, so it was not a drum solo.
Dun, 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 dun,
Hmm.
Time for a solo. And yeah, that's um that shows that you were looking for some way to get to express yourself. I think. I mean,
Hmm.
being a psychoanalyst that I am now, at being very old. Um, but it just it to me it looks like you're kind of looking for an outlet like this,
Hmm.
where you really do get a chance to pour into it and create. VTubers get to create their own worlds before they even go on, and they invite people into it.
Hmm.
Do you think that's what you've done now with Fig?
Oh yeah, I think definitely. I'm also sort of like because I feel like every VTuber sort of like does a little bit of world building too, like
Right,
for their personas.
right.
And I feel like I've really been able to do that with Fig and kind of like know exactly like the world that Fig exists in. And a lot of like my friends are sort of part of that too. And I really feel like I've been able to like hone my vision through through Fig.
Hmm. Yeah, you got to. The character is a filter, but they're a filter that you built, that you want to
Hmm.
focus through, and that's um that's pretty much what most people want to do, and I mean that's 100% what a lot of people want to do.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
was it easy for you to is it easy for you to be Fig?
In what way do you mean?
Well, is it easy for you to turn the microphone on and suddenly you are Fig Ficus?
Mm.
Um,
Oh
you,
yeah.
you get to put
I
everything aside what happened during the day, and now here you are.
mhm. Yeah, I feel like I would think so.
Mm,
Because like I feel like because of the way that I've created Fig, it is like Fig is just sort of like an extension of me, in a way.
mm,
So like I feel like, and I also too like I haven't really streamed that much since like the rebrand.
right.
But I just feel like as soon as like I go live, the mic's on, and I'm like, greeting people, I feel like I've already kind of like locked in,
Mm,
to Fig.
yeah.
And I feel like I could honestly, if it wasn't for like, outside, like I have, dinner time or whatever, I feel like I could, like continue, being Fig you know, for like all of stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
It,
just feels more comfortable.
it's
Hmm.
that's really good. That's a really it seems like it's kind of a combination of, kind of mentioned escapism earlier.
Hmm.
Escapism, along with wish fulfillment, along with being able to entertain folks and enjoying it, and that's a lot of pluses.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's you're ticking all the boxes there as you go. I mean,
Yeah.
when in here about a year into the rebrand, um,
Hmm.
are you happy with where you're at?
Yeah, I think so. I,
Mm,
I think I feel like I'm at a place where like like to compare this to like my like content creation past life,
mm-hmm,
I feel like I'm much more I think I have a much better idea of like what I want to do and where I want to go with this.
yeah.
And like I think just having that in itself is makes everything so much better.
Mm,
You know, I don't have to like really like second guess any decisions that I'm making because I'm just like, okay, I just like, kind of fall back on what I know.
mm.
Um,
So
and so I feel like that, has made the experience so much better.
here's a difficult question for me to word, so I hope it comes out right. Um,
Mhm.
is Fig right now, or is Fig going to be the novel that you have inside you? Are you going to channel that through Fig?
I think so. I think at least a little bit of it. I think even if it's not like a like in a conscious effort,
Hmm.
I think just because like I sort of naturally have to like weave some sort of story.
Hmm.
Um, I think it will come out that yeah, this is sort of like a novel that
Hmm.
is coming out through Fig.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that because I hear some folks who are creative writers that kind of get frustrated over time because they don't have a place to share their talents. Um, and here you've kind of created your own way to do that. Um, with that, do you have a novel in your mind ready to go? I mean, an outline and that sort of thing, as creative writers often do.
Um, Not necessarily a novel, no.
Mm,
Um, I it's been because I think because I've spent a lot of like my creative efforts like on like in VTubing, I've been
mm-hmm,
kind of like writing has been sort of on the backbone because I've been doing a lot of writing for this,
mm-hmm,
or sorry, on the back burner.
mm-hmm.
And so I haven't really done much writing like, outside of this.
Right.
But I'm always doing, little bits of writing, here and there, just like even if it was just journaling.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also do a lot of like nonfiction writing as well.
Oh, what types of
Um,
nonfiction?
mhm.
If it doesn't get too close to home, what type of nonfiction do you write?
It's mostly, I think, like yeah, like more like personal essays,
Hmm.
or sort of like yeah, I think I kind of like the creative nonfiction side where it's just like I've written a lot about like my own personal experiences,
Hmm.
but sort of in like a I don't know, a fun, flowery sort of way.
Cool.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. It.
So I'll do kind of that kind of stuff too.
Oh, neat. Yeah. That's the type of stuff that I'm envious of. The ability to. Well, for me, I think people can figure out by now the way I express myself is through talking. Um,
Hmm.
but I really would love to be able to write, and I just can't get it from my brain to the paper or computer screen. I can't. It's a giant gulf for me to do that. For some people, it's easy, but not for me.
Hmm.
And it's just. And plus, there's always the fear of showing it to somebody and have them saying, "Boy, this is awful." Uh,
Yeah, no, I even like that feeling for me is still is still there.
mm,
Even after, getting my degree in it. There's still always that feeling. I think that's just how, you know, it is a very vulnerable thing, you know. So
yeah,
it totally makes sense to feel, kind of like scared to show that.
yeah, yeah, and it's something you can overcome, but you got to work through it, and you got to have the
Hmm.
confidence in yourself. to do that. Has that ever been a problem for you when you've created something that you've had the confidence to show it to other people?
Yeah, I think a lot of my, especially my writing, I'm usually definitely more confident in my writing. Especially yeah, like my in classes where we had to write and then share.
Hmm.
Um, I felt like I had no issue with the way that I wrote and stuff like that. I was pretty confident in like sharing that with other people.
Hmm.
Um, but I think where I do feel a little, scared to show thing or to share things is kind of like with VTubing actually, because I think for me it's because this is still a very new medium for me.
Right.
Um, and so like, and I am kind of like with my writing sort of bearing my soul
Yeah, it's
in a
true.
lot of ways.
It is.
Um, and again, it's like this is also like a medium where potentially lots of people can see this,
Well, yeah.
so
The potential is,
versus like
yeah,
in my classes it's like 20 people.
yeah. The potential here is about 95% of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a little intimidating
Yeah.
to, for sure.
Yeah. And plus, this doesn't count the people who aren't even born yet, because they'll still be able.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, this is on the internet forever.
Yeah. Everything you remember, folks. Everything you put on the internet, somebody's got somewhere, um,
For
and they're
sure.
just waiting to use it on you. Uh,
Hmm.
so when you took the creative writing class, you were already writing before you went to school for it. Was it a situation where they were able to enhance your talents, you feel, or did they temper it and kind of try to pigeonhole you a little bit?
I think it was kind of a bit of both, to
Mm,
be honest. Because professors all vary,
right.
in their ways of teaching and stuff. I've had professors that were very like, you have to do this like this, otherwise it's wrong. And I always never really liked that because I feel like, art writing is so subjective.
Right.
Um, and there really shouldn't be any like rigid structure, put on those mediums.
Right.
Because it's just like, just how one person, reads your writing or looks at your art is going to be totally different from how somebody else does.
Right.
And, to say like that one person is wrong and the other person is right is just like it's never sat well with me.
Hmm.
So
You
I
talk.
always for those classes I just kind of took like a huge grain of salt.
Did what they
Hmm.
told me and moved on. Try to learn what you can. It sounds like to me
Yeah.
you're talking a little bit about thinking in three dimensions rather than two.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I always try to promote that as much. Even when I don't do it, I promote other people doing it because not everything is one, two, black, white, up, down, that type of thing.
Hmm.
And when it does
Yeah.
do that, you don't ever get compromises, and you don't nothing
Hmm.
ever moves. It just stands there and yells at each other. Um,
Hmm.
and that we're walking around in 3D. Might as well think about it in 3D when we're doing things.
Exactly.
And being able to be a creative writer doesn't even limit you to 3D. I mean,
Exactly.
you can create everything you want, an entirely new timeline, and
Hmm.
populate it how you want. Maybe somebody else wins a certain war. Maybe you know aliens came down in the 1600s, and it you, the ability to be creative has no end as far as that goes.
Yes.
Was that
Hmm.
something that you became conscious of a little later in life, and how do you embrace that?
I feel like I don't know if I think I've sort of always kind of like felt that like, even as a kid that like which is probably why I like, had some, like I would kind of like butt heads sometimes with like teachers
Hmm.
because I felt like I feel like yeah, the possibilities are sort of like boundless.
Hmm.
And I think, I think I just like having, I don't know. I feel like I've always sort of just felt that.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
and I don't
Unrestrained.
know.
Un- Unrestrained is how
Yeah.
I would put it. Um,
Hmm.
and not have somebody else's restraint put on it. Um,
Hmm.
that would be. That's why I feel for artists who do commissions because a lot of times it's not their vision to do. So now they're
Yeah.
they're automatically restrained a little bit into what they're able to do. Now they also get
Hmm.
money for it, so I don't feel too bad. Because
Yeah.
yeah, if you want money,
Hmm.
it's perfectly fine. But it's still it has to be tougher to do that sort of thing. You compare it to doing a 10-page essay on a 2-page short story in college, as opposed to you just sitting at home and writing a journal about it.
Hmm.
Um, Now you're trying to write to their expectations rather than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you?
That's why, yeah, I never really, I always hated the classes where I had to, whatever, read their material that they assigned, and like I
Yeah.
had to just write on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could still do it, definitely. But I was just like, I don't know, I'm sort of like a rule breaker. I just can't, I don't want to do this.
That's perfectly fine.
Um,
There are some
mhm.
great writers out there who do not follow standard, moon June rhyming, exact,
Mhm.
uh, perfect English grammar. I always look at the fellow who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams.
Mhm.
And have you read that book?
I read it, but it was ages ago.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So I don't really remember
yeah.
much.
Well, it was written in such an absurd manner,
Hmm.
um, and it really fit the humor of the book and the I enjoyed it immensely. If I could really write, I would want to write like Douglas Adams. But that type of stuff you don't teach.
Yeah.
That would drive a very strict professor right out of their gourd to try.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you been able to, you think, maintain, and you really kind of alluded to this earlier, maintain that childhood wonder of writing at this point?
I think I still do. 'Cause yeah, I think the way that I write is still like I don't like I kind of mix in sort of like this, maybe not like the same language,
Mm,
but like similar language that I would use like, as a kid. So like more like, more like simple sentences,
mm,
or just like sort of like observations
mm,
that, I would have made as a child
mm.
about like things.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I think that kind of I kind of incorporate that into my writing
Mm.
in that way.
So, would you say that you are a super descriptive scene builder, or do you use the short strokes and minimalist as far as building a scene for a particular verse?
Oh, I think I'm very descriptive. I love to like really like whenever I describe a scene, I usually like will try to put myself in like the character's perspective, and
Mm,
like be able to like use, as many of the senses I can.
mm,
So like, or even like, how the character's, feeling, how the environment is making them feel like emotionally, mentally, that
right.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Allegories?
yeah, I really want to like. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Would you use allegories and comparisons? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I do use a lot of that too,
yeah,
interspersed.
yeah. It's it's
Hmm.
it's sometimes you have limits to the English language
Yeah,
in some cases.
definitely.
Um, and
Hmm.
it also it's one of the reasons why I wish I'd learned another language because then I can add that because there's sometimes there's only words in a certain language you can use for a certain thing and I don't know them, which makes them angry.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
And you get a chance to paint with your words, um,
Hmm.
and that is a brilliant talent. And I'm glad that you're able to continue to explore it and
Hmm.
allow us to be a part of it too. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Um,
Hmm.
so with that and with the gaming background, um, Is there a game development somewhere in the background of your mind?
I wish.
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I think it would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I have, at least right now, I don't have the resources for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would love to work on a game. I think
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
yeah. Would it be a regular type of fantasy game? Would it be a visual novel? Would it be both?
I feel like I feel like it'd have to be both. Because I love like top-down RPGs,
Mm-hmm.
like Pokemon. I
Right.
love a lot of that.
Yeah.
Um, but I love having a good story. I think that, most of the games that I gravitate towards are the ones that are, you know, emotionally, powerful,
Mm-hmm.
or like, story-wise are just like, something that like really grip you,
Oh yeah,
more
yeah.
than just like the gameplay. Yeah.
And that's I think a lot of
Hmm.
independent games now have that, where they
Hmm.
they get to show you their vision and not have to sift through the corporation and the shareholders to get to it. A lot of times that's good, sometimes it's not. But
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you like. But having that ability to be creative and not have to answer to anybody is, I would
Hmm.
think, probably a writer's dream.
It
Um,
really is. Yeah.
yeah, and then getting money for it is even more of a dream.
Hmm. Yes, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. So, yeah, how with what you're doing now on stream, what you're going to be doing when you debut, um, will we see even more creativity out of you with in the future with Fig?
Yes. Yeah, I do plan on having like a D&D campaign that I'm
Mm,
going to set in like my homebrew world.
cool.
And I do also want to like have like I kind of want to do some like educational streams on writing and stuff like that. I think that would be like kind of fun to sort of show my expertise
Yeah, I mean
in
that's
writing.
that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
And yeah, so I would love to, incorporate more of like the creative side into like my streams in the future.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and would it be kind of write-alongs or would it be a lesson format, or have you even gone that far to figure it out?
I think I want to do like lesson format. Yeah,
Mm,
something like that. But like more fun and like interactive.
yeah.
'Cause I there's a past version of me somewhere
Hmm.
that, wanted to do teaching.
Yeah.
But just, I was sort of like, I looked at the all the bureaucracy that
Right.
teachers have to go through, and I was like, no, thank you.
Mm. Bureaucracy,
No, thank you.
bureaucracy is a very nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
I've got
I
some
changed
golf.
my mind on that.
I've got some golfers' language I could put instead in that place, and it would certainly work just as well. But
Hmm.
here you get a chance to focus and bring it out on your own terms,
Hmm.
which is so huge. What would you be
Yeah.
doing if you didn't have this format? I mean, it seems to be really well positioned time wise for you, and the ability to do it seems to be kind of right down the middle. A softball
Hmm.
pitch anyway for you to hit. Um, would
Hmm.
you just be continuing to write on your own?
I think probably I feel like I'd probably, yeah, just be writing more on my own. Or I know I had, out of college, I had considered like getting into publishing,
Mm-hmm.
or because I was like, oh, I think I would love to be an editor.
Mm-mm.
Um I had a professor who used to work at Penguin Random House.
Oh yeah.
I was like, maybe I could try to, um, you know, explore that connection. But yeah, so I was considering doing editing in the publishing market.
Mm. Well, I
Um,
remember those Penguin books as a
yeah.
kid because it used to be every used to be 90% of the paperbacks you'd find at the stores were Penguin
Yeah.
books.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so I was like, I would love to work there.
Well,
Hmm.
with the way things are now, would you rather work on a written novel or would you like to work on an audio novel?
I, f- I don't know actually. I feel like both
Mm-hmm.
are like interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean I never worked on either. Um, but I don't know. I think audio is really cool. I use audiobooks a lot when I was in college.
Right.
'Cause I feel like nowadays it is sort of like with with people's screen times and stuff like that, or like at least for me, my vision is kind of going bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I that's why I use audiobooks. Um, and so yeah, I think maybe audiobooks would be kind of interesting to go
Mm-hmm.
into.
Yeah. It does a I think you're finding out now with the VTubing is if you probably knew before, but being able to express with your voice and maybe a sound effect or two here and there um,
Hmm.
gives you that extra tool to add that layer of um, of suspense or describability, which I don't even think is a word. Um, to but it gets the job done. Um,
Yeah.
it's descriptive, more descriptive to what you want to bring across. And
Hmm.
there are folks who could do it really well. It's a part of a voice acting thing that I think that a lot of people should take advantage of.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I mean obviously you too, your medium is your voice as well.
Oh, well, thank you.
But yeah, I think I think that using my voice because I also love to talk.
Hmm.
So I think just being able to just express it is even though I am a writer and I love writing,
Hmm.
it is easier and like faster and also just more dynamic sometimes to like express yourself through talking
Hmm.
and the way that you're saying things. Voice acting is also a thing I had considered doing as a child,
Hmm.
and that I've considered doing as a VTuber as well.
Do it.
Um, no. I'll work my way up. I'll work my way up.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, voices and stuff like that. I mean, there's a whole reason why like, oral tradition is a thing.
Hmm.
People telling stories, performing them.
Oh yeah. Adding
So
their own
yeah.
spin to it. I
Yeah, yeah.
I know as a grandpa now, I've got my own stories to spin, but I'll take my granddad's stories and add a little extra. I mean,
Mhm.
my granddad could put a lot of polish on his stories. That's to say, he told some he told some really tall tales, but I can add a little bit of my own and
Really.
pass it on to my grandsons, and hopefully they pass it on too. It
Hmm.
it it does make a big. You are just so easy to talk to. It's
Thank you.
and the the tone of voice that you have really lends itself to a good relaxing time. If I would think that people would flock to come to a just work along where you're working along with on a some sort of writing and you're just kind of gabbing with people um,
Hmm.
because it's so easy. It's just so it's immediately comfortable. Um,
Thank you.
and I don't know if anybody ever tried to change that, but if they did, show me where to punch them. Uh, because that's
I'll
a
be sure to let you know.
yeah, but that's a great instrument, and having the writing and the creativity to go along with that instrument is a is so much icing on the cake. Um, and wanting to add the singing onto it as well. Will you be working on something like a cover in the future?
Yes, yes, I will.
Ooh,
I have one already sort of like that I've been like practicing for.
yeah.
And I'm gonna be working with because it's been a while since I've like sang, formally. I was in choir for
Mm-hmm.
4 years as
Yeah.
a, in my youth.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to go see a professional. I'm gonna take some voice lessons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll be sure to be posting covers in the future.
Oh, let us know because we always try to promote that for folks as much as possible. And I will
Oh,
promote the
thank you.
fact that our music special will be coming out in December, our third one
Oh,
over 2 years. And
very fun.
all of our guests who have covers are welcome to send them in, so we can promote that
Thank
sort of
you.
thing. But um, talking with you promotes itself. You don't even have to put an effort. It really does. It's so engaging to talk with you, and it's just I can't imagine this medium not being successful for you in one way or another. At least fulfilling for you. There's other
Yeah, well,
things
thank you
involved.
so much.
Yeah, and folks, you need to check out to see what Fig's got going on. We're going to have all the links we've been able to find in the description for this interview. Such a pleasure talking with you, and
Yeah,
um,
it's been great.
yeah, just keep us updated on what's going on so we can promote it in the future. This is good stuff, folks.
Mhm.
Check out what Fig Ficus has. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.